Morning, everybody. My name is Caterina Alves de Oliveira. I work at the European Space Agency. I am an instrument scientist for NearSpec, and today I'm going to Brave to give you a live demo of APT. So thank you so much for Denise. I think she went in quite a good detail over a lot of things, but repetition makes perfection. So I will re-show you again some things. So some main features that, at least for me, require kind of different thinking from other observatories. For James Webb, we're talking about a single-phase submission, with the exception of a few modes. It is a template-based proposal tool. So basically, we have one template per instrument mode. And within this tool, you also have integrated access to other tools, for example, Simbad, Aladdin, or the scheduler. So APT is the tool where you'll implement your scientific idea. If it's selected by the tag, it's ready to be executed on James Webb. Of course, for cycle 1, we're going to be ironing out a lot of details of this process, so it will be a little bit more interactive. But as we go along and the process smooths out, that's the rationale behind it. Exactly. So there are some exceptions. For example, the MOS mode, where you need to be assigned an orient before you know exactly which slits to open. That's a clear example, and there are others. But feel free to ask the instrument experts in the room, and maybe you're going to experience that also when you try the science cases this afternoon. OK, I'll try to do that. I'm sorry. OK, so here are the links. You should already have it installed, but if not, here it is. And there's already a good body of documentation on the tool. In the demo, I'm going to show you how to create a new proposal, which Denise already showed. I'm also going to give you an example of creating a new observation, how you select this instrument template, you edit the parameters, then how do you assess the implementation on Sky, the schedulability, submission, and then how do you find very easily documentation. All right, so let's start the demo. Can you bring me my mouse, please? Thank you. OK, here we go. So if you want, you can follow. Otherwise, you'll have the hands-on session. So as Denise showed, we'll go here to new document. So basically, you should see your proposal preparation as having two parts. In one part, you will enter the data, and then you will assess the feasibility of your proposal and go for the submission. So if you create a new JWST proposal, you see here in the tree editor, you have all the options. So let's say we're going to do MIRI observations of M83. You can do the abstract. Let's say we're going to study the stellar populations of M83. You're going to apply for cycle 1 as a GO, for example, but Jeff also showed different categories. Cycle 1, as Denise said, this time will appear as you add observations. The time will change here. You cannot change that. Scientific category, you are obliged to select something, let's say galaxies. And from this already gives you options for science keywords that you also have to fill in. So let's say stellar populations and something else, starburst galaxy. All right. And then in your preferred text editor, you're going to create your PDF with the detailed scientific justification, and which you have to attach here. So let's browse. I put just an example, the ERS template, OK, and you attach your PDF with all those details. In the observing description, you're going to give some more details. So for example, here, we're going to try to do a MIRI mosaic of M83. And as you go along and fill in these fields, you see that the red crosses sort of disappear. So you don't have errors in there. So here I want to put myself as a PI, Caterina. I search for my name in the database. Here I am. I select. And my information appears there. I can add COIs, or if I want to submit the proposal alone, I can also just delete the COI. And like this, I don't have any error. There's several different options on how you can add targets to your proposal. Let me show you, for example, how to use the fixed target resolver, and then please go ahead and explore other options. So here I can connect directly to several databases. Okay, I will try with Simbad, for example. So I type M83, search, and it finds it. It's a very popular galaxy. I select the object as target, and it automatically loads information from Simbad into APT, into my proposal. So now I have the name that is going to go in the archive. You can change that if you want, the coordinates, and I still have to select a category. So let's say a galaxy, and some words for the description. Let's say a spiral galaxy, and I think that should be enough. All right? And you can add some more information. If you're doing spectroscopy especially, you are also given the option of selecting if the object is extended or not. That will just help the automated pipeline that populates the archive to calibrate the products more appropriately. Of course, on your own, you can use the pipeline and change the parameters as you wish. All right. As you see here, there is a warning sign on the target, and it just tells you that the target is not yet used in the proposal. This will go away once you use it. OK, so now maybe you want to start saving the proposal. You just go to File, Save As any normal application, and you can save this proposal, let's say, demo. All right. Then let's try to create an observation. If we go to Observations, you create New Observation folder. All right, and it appears here in the tree editor. And you go into Observation, and here is where you'll be able to select your instrument. You can put a label if you want to help you not forget what you are doing, because you can have different observation folders, different instruments, all in the same proposal. What drives it is your science case, your science question. So let's select MIRI, for example. And for MIRI, if you click on the templates, you see the different templates, different modes on how you can use the instrument. So let's go, for example, with the MIRI imaging template. Once you select the template, all the parameters that you are allowed to configure appear in your editor box. And you can select your target. So let's go with M83. Let's see what else I wanted to say here. Exactly. You do have some parameters here that you cannot control. So the splitting distance is basically determined by the choice of your target, and the duration boxes are just going to be filled in automatically once you put the parameters of your observation. All right, then you can choose how you're going to operate the detector for this particular mode. You have, again, all the options. You don't have to know them by heart. I want to use all the detectors. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Thank you. Can you, maybe in the hands-on session, you can already ask Jeff, and if not, he will cover it in his talk. OK? So I'll just go on a little bit with the hands-on. So for this particular template, you can choose DITR. And I can already tell you here, so if you will select the DITR type. You have 4 different types available. You start thinking, oh, I remember maybe reading about this online, but what does it really mean? How do I fill this up? You can just click on everything that is here in APT, basically, that is in blue, and it will take you directly to the JDocs page. So if you click on DITRs, you go online, and you have the page explaining you the DITRs, and you have seen in JDocs how you can get all the information there very quickly. So that's a very powerful and quick way. So let's just go with this DITR, starting point 1, number of points 3, and we'll leave the rest of the parameters. And then we still want to choose which filter. And here is where you put really the exposure parameters, right? What type of readout mode, how many groups, let's just say 8 groups, integrations, and this is the information you're going to get from the ETC. And it's at this stage of the proposal that you might go back, depending on the dithering strategy, on etc., how many filters you're using, etc. You might have this interplay between the ETC and APT to see what's, in the end, how you want to set up your observation. Okay, so you're done creating your observation. Once you are at this point, you want to, for example, check if this is schedulable. What is the schedulability of this observation? So you will go to the top panel and to Visit Planner. It takes a little bit to load, okay? And you already see there your observation. And you will run the update display, and it's going to check the guide stars, availability of guide stars for the particular dates. In this case, it will be cycle 1, for example. And so this is running your observation. Okay, and so we see here the windows where the target is schedulable. So there's several windows. The target can be done. So that's good. You can go ahead. So once you are done running that, you need to run the smart accounting tool. And what that will do is just to remove any excess overhead charges. So you would go to the top menu, to the very top menu, Visit Planner, run smart accounting. And again, you will, to you, this is almost transparent, but in the first page of the proposal information, where the time that you need to ask the tag is being displayed, that's being updated when you run this, so you just get the right overheads. And I think this was already presented a little bit, the overheads yesterday by Jeff as well. Good, so now you can go back to the cover page. So if we click on proposal information and we change to form editor, we will see back again the time that we're spending. Actually here in the observation, so here we created just one pointing with editor. I wanted to show you as well that you have different options with different tabs within templates. There is the tab, for example, if you want to do a mosaic, it will automatically create a mosaic for you. So let's do a 2x2 mosaic. And there is also a tab for special requirements. And again, you can just go to the JDocs to see what kind of requirements you can add. But basically, you click Add, and you can put requirements on timing, position angle, etc., etc. I'll let you explore that with the science cases we're going to have. You can also visualize your observations if you use the integrated tool with APT Aladdin. So if you click View in Aladdin, that will bring up Aladdin, show your observations, and then you can choose from one of the images, for example, that Aladdin has access to. And you see here, for example, here is the mosaic, the mirroring mosaic we just created. All right, then if we go back, so you're pretty much done with a simple observation, for example. And now we can also see the PDF preview. So you see what the tag will see, for example. You have different options. You have the operational PDF that gives you a bit more detail. The tag PDF just gives you an exact view of what the tag that will be evaluating your proposal will see. So you check that things look good, that you have filled you have put all the fields that you wanted to in there, and you're ready to submit. So you go to the submission page. And again, you have some comments, but basically you just submit the proposal and you get your ID. For me personally, I get very stressed. I don't like to wait until the last minute, so I submit, and then if I have to change something, I will use this resubmit proposal. But that's just me. Okay, and that's it. So you have now a hands-on session where you'll get to practice. And if you have any questions, the experts of APT are around, so please do ask them. Thank you.